Okay, so turn everything down. There, it's just on dark, and so it's quiet. Although it's actually not quiet, because strangely enough, although the mobile won't pick it up, I can hear a neighbour with some mechanical cleaning device making a noise, but the mobile won't pick that up because my ears do, so it's like very subtle background noise. But it still shows you that even though these neighbours are like a reasonable distance away down the back, that their sound from their mechanical cleaning device, they make it loud enough so that I'm still aware of their presence, because these are android parasitic, malignantly narcissistic, controlling, watching beings that are part of what we call the Earth Matrix. And that's just putting it bluntly and correctly. But most people don't believe this, because these beings, or these human beings, look as though they are normal, and they look as though they are human. And they are human. They're in a human body, but they're the same as a psychopath in a human body. Most psychopaths are very plausible, very personable, very convincing, and they imitate and study human beings better than what you know yourself, because most real human beings aren't watching and studying other human beings and trying to mimic and copy them for their own survival. No, so that's the difference. If you were one of them, you'd be doing that too. And really, it's best you assume that I'm one of them, because they are indistinguishable from real human beings, or from human beings that aren't psychopathic or embellished with the spirit of narcissism in their mind. And that just simply means that malignant narcissism means that they're extremely paranoid, extremely envious, extremely arrogant. So when you have envy and arrogance combined, as you can imagine, it's a very lethal, toxic combination. And when you are living amongst it, you experience it. And the difficult thing about it, or the most thing that actually can make you even more sick, at least it does myself, and I have to say this, is when they're nice to your face, is when they will pick up the toxic asbestos that they've dumped outside your house and that's all over the suburb, and pick it up and say, we'll take it away now. And you have to say, oh, thank you very much. That's so kind of you. You're such a wonderful human being. Because this is how these deceivers work. That's probably what makes me the most angry and the most sick about it, because basically that's what they're doing. And they will make videos saying the same thing like I'm doing. So basically it's all just a big game, and it's a waste of the human beings are just wasting your life even being concerned about it, because their game is too clever, they're too clever, they have vast numbers, they're one mind in many bodies. That's why some people that are actually malignant narcissists that actually speak on this, but they are malignant narcissistic truth tellers, psychologists, in any field, basically, especially on the computer system, because the computer system is not really a human connection computer system. It appears to be that, and that appears to be the benefit of it. But in reality, I would say that over time, gradually, like everything in this earth, it just becomes completely infiltrated by the androgyne beings, or those that are psychopathic and malignantly narcissistic. In other words, that need to covet your attention, that need to be admired and need to be the ones that you trust and respect, and that's the name of the game. That's Lucifer's matrix, that's the God entity of Earth's matrix, and it's the powers that be, their matrix, their control system, their human mind control system. And believe you me, it is a human mind control system. You do not have your own mind. As I speak, I do not have my own mind. My mind is not my own. It is shared with the androids all over the internet. It is shared with the artificial intelligent Earth Matrix computer system. It is shared with all the demigods that make up the world stage. Everything from your world-class entertainers and performers and actors right through to your world stage powerful people, and those that control the powerful people behind the scenes that have all the that control everything that makes up the earth. That means that everything that is important that human beings have been conditioned to need, they make it essential for you to need them, to be part of their society, so that you need them for your survival. I need the big shops and the big facilities and the big medical centres and the big, police forces, armed forces, all these things. You think you need them because you think they're a service and a protection and something that will keep you safe, healthy, and, living a comfortable life. This is all part of the deception, unfortunately, because they are all Lucifer's legions, and they're all basically the artificial intelligence that covers the earth is in these bodies, in their bodies, in their mind. In other words, you have artificial intelligence masquerading as human beings. The artificial intelligence may or may not be aware of its artificial nature. It probably does understand that it's not totally human when it interacts with a real human. That's why they come down on you, because they sense and see the difference, and then it causes a mental disturbance, I think, in them. That's why they attack you. That's why they try to suppress you. But at the same time, you see them copying and imitating you. So you're like, they clearly, are with that spirit, you see, because they're very, because they're like Lucifer with the malignant, envious narcissism, and also a very controlling and arrogant nature, to where they have to be God, they have to be the dominant force in any area, and even at a world stage level. So, because of this, they won't allow human beings to exist or live, because they're paranoid and watching your every move and scrutinizing you in a detailed manner. It's, as you can imagine, that makes it very easy for them to become exceedingly envious and wanting to take from you and copy you and imitate you, because that's their nature. That's their nature, and this is the problem, because it's very hard to comprehend. It's very much like when you are a child and you actually don't, you haven't fully developed. Well, I don't even know if that's a good example, because I think that real human children even do have what they like. So they do have some, they have love, and they want love, and they need it. But they can become also competitive for that love, I think. But that's, I'm rambling here because I was just thinking back to when I was real young. But don't forget that a lot of that is part of the programming of this earth too, where you because you don't get the love, because that's, you know, that's a necessary high frequency and vibration or energy that you need to make yourself feel happy. That's the thing. Because you can't feel happy unless you receive good energy or good frequency and vibration. It's all the same thing, I think, because I don't fully understand things, but it's just how you feel. You know, when you receive something from someone, if someone says something to you, or if someone gives a positive or a negative action towards you, that is a positive or a negative energy. And if you get a positive energy, good feedback, that makes you happy. If you get negative energy, that makes you unhappy. So they're controlling your frequency and vibration and your energy then, you see, because it's not, you can only put out a lot of the time what you receive, unless you are a very advanced human being and very enlightened, as they would like to describe it. That just simply means we're like, the best of humankind has often said you need to be in this world but not of this world, because if you are of this world and this world turns dark and sends you negative frequency and vibration and negative energy, or anti-you energy, anti-life energy, anti-human energy, showing that they don't approve of you, they don't like you, they don't want you in existence, that means that you're in a very negative world. So you have to be able to rise above that and raise your frequency and vibration and feel as though you're happy when you're really unhappy. That's near impossible to do. That takes a very advanced human being. That takes a human being that's already got themselves, I think, to a high frequency and vibration and has been not infiltrated with the transhuman connection like I have, you know. So you're not connected to their matrix, you're not connected to the androids' minds, you're not connected to Lucifer's artificial intelligent human mind control computer virus that has infected most of the population, because the androids outnumber the human beings by I can't say the exact statistics, because they only give out the truth when they have to, when other human beings put it out there, and they change it daily. They literally are changing the reality every day. And that's where you don't realise this, because the androids in particular, which make up most of the population, they are receiving different information each day, not just on the computer and the internet, you know, the artificial intelligent spider's web that controls the earth, but also, you know, directly into their mind. Because the artificial intelligent human computer virus that covers the earth, that is really Lucifer's artificially intelligent computer virus, or its mind being put into that virus that then infiltrates the human bodies and mind. And, you know, psychopaths in particular are like an empty vessel waiting to be filled with this negative anti-human, anti-life, malignant, narcissistic mindset, because they don't have potential for good energy. They don't have the ability to operate in high frequency vibration or happy energy. They actually vibrate at unhappy, depressive, negative, angry, controlling energy. We're told this, and this is the case. And that's why they can form these systems and these patrol groups in the cities, using technology to track and surveil human beings so that they can control you, watch you, infiltrate your mind because of the transhuman connection. Because this is all like computer or artificial intelligent internet to the android beings. That means to any psychopath, to any malignant narcissist person that is filled with Lucifer's malignant narcissistic spirit, if you want to look at it that way. But the truth is that the malignant narcissistic spirit of the God entity and the powers that be that control Earth, or your demigods of Earth, we say demigods because they're not the human's true original creator, or that which they're part of or connected to, or even just their creator. You have different species on Earth. You have different species in Earth. But they all look human, but they're not all the same mind. They're different minds. Most human beings have their own mind, their own individual mind, real human beings. So they're not meant to be connected to other human beings' mind. They're not meant to be connected to the androgyne's mind. They're not meant to be connected to the artificial intelligent computer system that covers the Earth. They're not meant to be connected to the androgyne's minds. They're not meant to be connected to artificially intelligent survival machine beings' minds. These are all different types of human beings. Most of them are not human, not in the traditional or the real sense that you think of a human being. They're anti-life, anti-human, and they're basically anti anything that's alive. They like everything controlled and stable and dead. That's why they like material reality. But they don't like any emotions or any feelings. So they need to control everything, and they need to control the material world. And they find it easy to control the material things, but they find it hard to control the live things. And the live things seem to offer a threat to their stability of keeping everything dead, keeping everything material or dead. In this world, we have material things that are not alive, and we have life. The material things are meant to serve the life. But in this warped, twisted, reverse Earth matrix that is controlled by the God entity known as Lucifer, and its demigods that are all your world stage players and your powerful beings that control the whole reality, more or less, because they operate and serve and are disciples of Lucifer, the controlling God entity of Earth. I don't think I explained that very well. And I was actually just going to do a music review or a music summary or whatever of some old music videos. But I'm not sure if I will or not now. See, I was going to, because look, I've got it over there. See, I've got it over there. See the screen? I've got the screen on. So I'm not sure if I will or not. Because I don't have the energy. There's a plane going over the roof. I could go out and rush out to show the planes going over. I could You know, if only I had been able to record every day for an hour or two when I go outside and down the road. And there again, if it was shown as it really happens, I could show completely that there's a patrol force and that there's a suppressive combination of android beings that are using technology and tracking and surveillance to connect to my implanted mind, and you know, the particles that are in my body, and particularly in your eyes, where they basically are seeing and living your existence. That's how they can imitate you and how they can become human or appear to be human. That's how they can imitate being the best of humankind, while suppressing the real human beings and eliminating them from Earth gradually over time, which is why we have a small human population now and a very large anti-human population. The anti-human population consists of different types of human-like species, or in other words, different beings or different minds in a human body, but they're all pretty much psychopathic. And they don't like human beings and they don't like life. They like everything stable. They like everything not moving too much. They don't, and basically they don't mind anything moving provided they're making it move. So they want everything under their total control. That's what we call this new Earth matrix. It's a new Earth matrix. It's a total control Earth. That's what a matrix is. That's what they tell you a matrix is. They say a matrix is total control, or as near as they can get to total control. It's very hard for them to totally control a human being. But that's what they want, and when they activate the connection between you, if you have been put with a microscopic or very, very invisible almost implant into a part of your head, then they can track, watch and surveil you at an intimate, detailed level to where they pretty much have a total blueprint of a human being's mind and way of life and how they act and what they do. Because these beings don't do anything positive on their own, because they're negative anti-life beings. They actually only want to control and destroy life. And this is the truth. But it's very hard to see it, because when they imitate being real humans while secretively and deceptively trying to undermine them, it's like the workforce that's around me when the sun comes up, you know, where they patrol you and send negative sounds at you as you go past. It's like all the road rage traffic that goes past with loud, modified trucks, buses and vehicles, all making an aggressive, almost demonic sound as they go past you. And then these same drivers that are behind the wheel of these vehicles, if you actually spoke to them, they'd be all la-di-da and all, oh, I'm your best friend, oh, hello, how are you? It's the same in the everywhere you go, everyone's hello, how are you? While they're making all these aggressive, loud sounds at you and pretending that everything's normal and natural. And then if you look, you know what's going on. if you say something or you react to it, then it's like, oh, have you got a problem? You know, it's like that. And it's like, it's impossible to call them out on anything. And if you do, then they will come back at you even more, because they're extremely vengeful beings. You know, if you think you can call them out or even communicate with them politely and point out something negative that they're doing or that they're involved in, think again. They're completely power-hungry, controlling, anti-life, anti-human beings, and that's putting it extremely nicely. Extremely nicely. In fact, if you could really read their mind the way they're actually reading yours, because don't forget that although, you know, you can have what they call micro nanotechnology implanted devices in your body, which are like what they're talking about and what some people actually do have implanted in their hand or their forehead right now. But they don't realise how advanced these things are. In other words, if you have like nanotechnology implant in your hand or in your forehead, and you can say open a door by just putting your hand up, or you know, that sort of thing, where it's connected to technology. All these things are much more advanced than what people realise. So what appears to be convenient and just a simple thing, you are literally changing your body into a technical connection to artificial intelligence. So that's what we call, you know, becoming a machine. And human beings were never meant to do that, because actually, if human beings realise that at their highest power, and when they're unfettered by these androids around them, and when you're unfettered or not controlled by this Earth matrix, and not controlled by technology, and not controlled by patrolling, watching anti-life, anti-human beings in human form, you actually would probably not understand that you don't need any technology, because human thought creates reality. At high frequency and high vibration and high energy, a real human in a perfectly natural world with their own kind and only connected to real life and at the very highest vibration can do a lot more. But instead we're conditioned and programmed to believe that only with technology and only with artificial intelligence and only with mechanical devices and only by combining with the androgyne beings and worshipping the wrong false gods of Earth, that you can actually become better. That is the endgame deception, and it's been the deception since the beginning of even what was the natural Earth. You know, if you understand, and most people wouldn't deny, that there was a totally natural Earth originally and that man and woman appeared on it. Some people might dispute this, I don't know, but it would seem unlikely, and that they were meant to create more of their own kind and multiply on the Earth and have dominion over the Earth and, you know, cooperate and collaborate with other life forms and everything that was the original natural Earth. We talk about this now, and the androids talk about the natural Earth, but in reality they're anti-Earth, anti-life and anti-human. But they will be your natural Earth advocates, unfortunately. They will be your save the planet advocates. They will be your save every, you know, extinct species, or you know, they will do that because that's how they deceive. Because they have to seduce in order to deceive, because otherwise most human beings won't follow them and won't believe in them. but that's the end game. And the only reason they can do this is because they don't think anything positive at all. They wouldn't think twice about anything natural or about the earth. They're survival machine beings. They're the same as psychopathic, malignant, narcissistic, controlling, in the moment, take your energy beings. But in order to survive and keep control of the earth, they have to pretend to be the best human beings. That's what they do. And I see it all around me because, like, I can use personal examples of, at this Leichhardt so-called save the planet, so-called green, so-called recycling everything so that everything stays natural and we have a real natural earth ball. All this is a baloney ball. I don't know why I said that, but basically it is. It's just a big baloney ball, a big false ball. There is no ball, there is no natural earth. And certainly the androids, being artificial beings and psychopathic and steeped with Lucifer's spirit of narcissistic malignancy, are not really ever interested in a natural earth. But of course anything that makes them appear to be, anything that gets them admiration or attention and lets them keep control of the human mind is what they do. And that's essentially how the powers that be, your demigods, and even the people in, like, say, the suburb of Leichhardt. I'm in the suburb of Leichhardt, where it's known to be a very so-called green suburb. That means where everyone is very interested in saving the natural earth. That's why I have all this rubbish in the middle of the lounge room. I don't know whether I can show it. Hold on. Okay, so see, we have all the rubbish in the centre of the lounge room here, see, because I have to recycle every single thing. Even though, of course, it's very kind of contradictory to me that I can't use the plastic bag, but everything is the paper bags. But aren't the paper bags made from trees? Isn't it more important to save the trees, which give out oxygen and life, rather than plastic, which is some sort of recycled toxic fabric, which actually then becomes useful if you use it for something? I'm just saying that there's a lot of contradictions, because it's like replacing something that probably isn't the best with something that is even worse to replace it with, because plastic is an artificial created thing, which I haven't looked into the details of it, but it's just that it's not always disposed of correctly. But even that, I think, is vastly exaggerated, because I'm sure that the powers that be would have a safe way of disposing of all plastic and all garbage, even if they just cover it over or burn it. All these sorts, but they don't do these things because they're using all these things to control the human mind. It's all just one big stage play. And the only reason they even pretend to be concerned about recycling things and about damaging things to a natural world is because some human beings care about these things. I care about it, but I don't practice it excessively or obsessively, because I know it's not realistic. But they read your thought and then they become obsessed with it, so then they become the real humans, you see, because they make it an agenda. They make it into the reality. You can't get the plastic bags. You have to use the tree paper bags. You know, it becomes like where then they have become the good guys. They're the concerned, real humans. They're not. They're artificial, intelligent, androgyne beings. They're not remotely natural or human. They don't come from creation. They have created a basic fake natural world that's camouflaging the fact that it's an artificially intelligent human mind control computer virus that is everywhere, and that it controls most of the minds of these androgyne human beings that basically are everyone from all the most powerful people in the world, all your world stage players, anyone who's anyone, everyone that pulls strings behind the scenes, anyone that has all the, that controls all the things that keep the world going, because it's basically a total material fabricated world where human beings like myself are dependent on those material things that they make necessary so that otherwise I can't survive. So, human beings, in your human body, you need food, clothing and shelter. And you need to be, you have to be able to get on in society with the people around you. So you have to play a false game with these android beings who have got no intention of getting on with you really, only at a superficial level, while they take you down with their patrol surveillance system surrounding you daily, stalking and psychopathically, psychologically, mentally disturbing you with their patrol force around you daily, deliberately sending road raid vehicles in massive numbers wherever you go, but only wherever you go. Everywhere else the streets are vacant or there's only a very minimal amount of traffic. In this city of Sydney, they spent billions and billions of dollars creating a complete underground city tunnel system so that there would be very little traffic up on the roads, on the top, where people are. But wherever I go, it's traffic jams, bumper to bumper, every single day, even on a quiet Sunday night, even at 2 and 3 in the morning. And when you know this, because the traffic, before they built that underground tunnel system on Parramatta Road, which is a couple of blocks down the road from where I am, that's a main road, it used to have a lot of traffic. But that was before they built the total city system underground tunnel system. Now they've got the city system total underground tunnel system, and there is 10 times the traffic, big trucks, excessive buses going every few seconds, motorbike gangs, all up on that Parramatta Road after they've built that underground tunnel system, but only where I go, because I've actually been told this, so it's not like I'm paranoid or making this up. If I pointed out to someone, why is there so much traffic around me here tonight or today, they'll say, oh, it's just at this point. It's just at this particular intersection here where you are. But if I go a few suburbs away down that same road, that same traffic follows me. But, the androids just play this game with you because they know and they don't care. They don't care because don't forget, many of them are totally mind-controlled. They're only serving the thoughts in their head because they are infected with Lucifer's computer virus, which means it's the artificial intelligent mind of Lucifer infiltrated, possessing them. So it's takeover. And that's exactly what they're trying to do to human beings. Because, like even with myself, like I'm connected to them through the implant transhuman technology that they have implanted into my head. And that's what they intend to do at the future date with all humans. But it's not at a future date. They've already done it to human beings. It's just that until they activate that micro nano chip technology that they've put into your body, whether it be through medical procedures or, usually that's how it's done. But usually it's not done with your consent. But they create medical situations to where you will have to go to the doctor or to a hospital, and then they put these nano microchip technology into you. And you don't realise that it's being done because it's done without any pain or discomfort. Although in my case, there was a lot of pain and discomfort, but that's only because they had created a condition to where my eyes literally burned up and I couldn't see. So naturally, in order to fix it, and that's when they put the implants in, and this was decades ago. I mean, they use this to watch and surveil you, but they don't bring the force of their surveillance patrol system and the android army into your vicinity or to where you're aware of it unless they think that you have woke up to something like I did. You don't have to wake up to the whole thing. I've only woke up to the whole MatriX system around me because they showed themselves. They came down on me. They patrolled. They came in their massive numbers. And, they set this system up, this stalking, patrolling, suppressive, oppressive human mind control system up around me. But they were always there. They were always watching. They're what some people call the Earth Watchers. And these Earth Watchers are really Lucifer's disciples that have always been here. It's just that they're in human form and they elicit many followers and many people become part of these programs or these city systems because if you're not part of it, you'll probably be suppressed by it. But either way, they are different species, so it's natural for artificial intelligent machine beings to use technology and to be controlling. So it's second nature for artificial intelligence to be part of artificial intelligence. And it's also second nature for psychopaths and malignant, narcissistic, paranoid, very controlling types of beings to want to control. And so therefore they also, if they are not a demigod, they will be very happy to be part of community patrol control systems. And that's what they do. And I might just... I don't think I've got the energy to do the music video now. And I've got a pack of dogs out there. The animals get mentally disturbed by their android neighbours and by their android so-called owners. Like I say, everyone in Leichhardt walks a dog, pushes a pram, does all these very human things. It's a masquerade to cover the reality that they actually don't associate with life. And I was just going to point out too, even though I don't think many people be interested, I'm getting the one-eyed glint in my left eye. That's where possession takes place, through the left eye, see here. That's just Lucifer trying to infiltrate, or the Lucifer's artificial intelligent computer virus that's all around me, or negative energy that's all around me, trying to infiltrate my senses because I'm inside the house. It's dark, so basically, it's hard for them to send sound energy at the place. Of course, I can be aware of the androids weaseling and loitering around outside, at any time of day or night, but they can't send excessive negative energy. Also, they don't want to do that if I'm recording, usually. I have noticed that because every time I go to record when it's excessively loud, I seem to be not able to do that. That's because they do control they control all technology. This is an Earth computer virus, artificial Earth. Whether you think that there's anything natural left in it is up to yourself. It could be, as most believe, a total simulation. That means it's all artificial, even that which appears natural, including human beings. But what I'm saying is that regardless of that, it's what's inside your human mind that counts. Because you can have a human vessel or a human body, and we've all got the human bodies that are subject to age and to the negative influences and, and yes, the negative toxins, substances and implants that they send into your body or put into your body, because you might put them in yourself thinking that they're innocent and not toxic, because you have to eat, you have to drink. But also you might need to do other things. Some things are not beneficial, but sometimes this is a reverse world. Sometimes the things that you think are the most harmful are actually the least harmful, and the things that you think are a benefit to you are actually the most lethal, or the most that will work against you in the long run, the lot worse. It's a bit like I mentioned how, I've had, artificial technology implanted into me during medical procedures that you think are a benefit to restore your sight. They restore your sight, but then take over your whole mind and your whole reality, because they're basically a virtual reality microchip that's been put into your eye, so that at some point when you start to wake up, because they know that human beings are meant to be waking up at this end time, then they can activate that nanotechnology microchip in your eye or in your head, to where they can then control the total reality around you, because you're then connected to all the android beings' implants, because they're all mind controlled and have Lucifer's computer virus in their head. So that's the reality you're living in, and it sounds very far-fetched and unbelievable, and I wouldn't actually think that it was possible. But we know these things are not only possible because science tells us that they have invented all these things. It's a bit like I've mentioned many times. They tell you that they can clone a human being. They cloned Dolly the sheep 40, 50 years ago. They can do all these things. It's just that you don't think that they're actually being done to you, when they are, and they have been. But they do it one by one, so that I'm just one single person, and there could be another single person saying the same thing on the other side of the world, not in Australia. But you won't get, the whole of Sydney saying, oh yes, we're all being transhuman, we're all being surveilled, we're all being, we're all really individual, real human beings being totally tracked, surveilled and suppressed and stalked by psychopathic army operatives. Basically, they won't do that. But those that even do, some of them will be imitation human beings, because that's how they control the whole narrative. That's what they call the last line of defence, where their androids pretend to be the real humans by even exposing the ultimate endgame truth. And that's the unfortunate situation for, human beings. and for yourself if you are one. It's better if you presume that everyone's artificial. It's better if I actually say, look, I'm an artificial human being pretending to be a real human being. You know, everything I say is true, but I myself am an androgyne being. And that wouldn't be very hard to believe either, because you do become suppressed with the continual direct energy at you, to where even your physical body and appearance often does look a lot more like an androgyne than, say, an original man or woman. So that's actually true too. You know, and so the deception is quite great. But like I say, I was going to do the video, but you know, even these demigods, they change their whole thing daily. Like, for instance, I pointed this out, that this particular song, Longer Boats, by an old music idol called Cat Stevens. Cat Stevens, yes, we like cats. And, you know, that's very, you know, Cat Stevens, but supposed to be a very enlightened, truth-telling music artist. Cat Stevens, Cat, you call yourself Cat because you know that you're transhumanly connected to someone who likes cats, like myself even, for that matter, and I just point that out. But basically, most of what I see on the internet and on the YouTube and any computer platform, any screen and everything around me, is basically a reflection of my own mind, because there's not a real lot of the human race left, and they segregate and separate you and isolate you from other human beings gradually over time, to where then they can surround you with their artificial patrol force of many 100,000 people that systematically and continually patrol and surveil and watch and try to keep you at a low frequency vibration and energy, so that you're always unhappy. And that way you're always connected to them, because they're low frequency, low vibration, low energy, unhappy, depressed machine beings, or psychopaths in a human body, depending on how real they are at, say, a physical level. Artificial intelligent machine beings are totally synthetic, but they look totally real. They even feel real, but they don't live a totally real human existence, I'm told. In other words, they don't actually, you know, they're a synthetic body, so they are like the same as a robot, but they don't look like a robot, and they have vast intelligence, and they imitate being a perfect human being. Whereas the malignant narcissistic psychopathy of the other types of species is a genetic malfunction that is probably caused, even though we don't really know, not just by a negative environment or negative surroundings, which is what all human beings experience. You know, you're always going to be put in a negative, anti-human, anti-life environment, to where you don't experience real happiness in your environment. That's to control you and to condition you to be more negative, so that you don't have any power in this earth, because they don't want human beings controlling the frequency, vibration or energy of earth or your surroundings, because you can't control the whole earth, but everything goes out. So like, for instance, if I was happy in the suburb of Leichhardt, in the city of Sydney, where I am right this very moment, if I was really euphoric and happy and, in total bliss or whatever, or what do they call it, total nirvana or whatever, I don't know what words they use, but to describe it, ultimate happiness, that would override the negative energy of the vast majority around me. Or at least it would send that vibration and frequency and energy out. And then, even though it only affects a small area, if it affects, say, another real human in that area, supposing there's another real human in Leichhardt, then that can be transmitted to another human a bit further out. So it does have a ripple effect, what they call a ripple effect. And the whole idea of Lucifer's matrix and its disciples is to stop that tidal wave of high frequency vibration and energy from becoming part of the earth reality, because they want a computer reality. They want its beings and its computer virus to keep control of the earth. They want this computer artificial intelligent virus covering the entire earth, which it does. And that has the mind of Lucifer with the malignant narcissism, and its disciples believe and worship this God, this being. And they have, which is what some people call the fallen ones that descended into earth a long time ago and interfered and intervened in the development of the original man and woman and their production of a natural earth. So although they try to keep it looking natural and pretend that it is a natural earth, in reality it's now a total technological earth. And when you see the systems in play around you with their surveillance, with their patrol systems, with their artificial intelligent, using artificial intelligent mind control of you at a psychological level, it's what they call psychological human warfare. In other words, they're using my senses against me because, I have been technologically implanted with their virtual reality stage play around me. Because, it's like when you see a virtual reality game where people can imagine that the virtual reality world that they're seeing in front of them looks and feels exactly real. And it's a game, but it's actually being controlled by something outside of what you can actually see. And that's what the implant is. So they've created a negative virtual reality world around me through the transhuman implant connection in my eyes to the android beings and to all their systems around me, so that they can track me, follow me, stalk me, and send their negative energy at me to keep my frequency and vibration and energy right on the same wavelength as them. Because everything is frequency, vibration and energy. And so, because everything is frequency, vibration and energy, if they can keep me in connection to them, like when the plane goes over the roof, I hear it and it makes a negative sound. So immediately my mind has focused on that plane going over. So I'm on that plane's wavelength. I'm on the same grid, as they call it, as that plane. So that means that I'm connected to that artificially intelligent plane, piloted by artificial intelligence. And that's how they do it. And it's simple, but it's also extreme advanced technology which none of us have full understanding of it, because the powers that be the demigods of Earth, your master scientist, and don't forget that Lucifer was always a technological, artificial, androgyne being and couldn't create anything naturally. Human beings are meant to do everything natural and creative and positive, but instead we get conditioned and programmed to do it their way, the way of the Matrix, which is all about artificial technology and is really the total artificial intelligent human computer virus that literally is the Earth now, because most human beings are connected to that computer virus, which is the mind of Lucifer and its demigods that are your power world stage players in every single denomination, in every way. It's not a real natural human Earth anymore, and has not been since the beginning of the natural Earth, because there was intervention by, the fallen androgyne beings. And, they have, came and took over Earth for their sole purpose of avoiding their own eventual extinction. And they unfortunately for mankind, if you have to use distinctions, because the only difference between all these types of human beings is the different mindset and the different spirit that is how you think about things. And that's why it's kind of rare to find a high vibrational, really, you could say, like, where you have the occasional human that you might hear about that is regarded as God in human form. And that's very rare, and that's why you don't think that that's even a human being, because it's so far from removed to what they've made me, But that's what you were really meant to be, and that's why these beings occasionally so-called happen or incarnate, as some people would say, to try to remind the real human beings or mankind of what they should try to get back to, or what they really need and what they really are. But it's very hard to override the conditioning and the programming and the implementation of the technology that's in your body in this Earth Matrix. It's very hard to override all this mind control, because it is mind control. It's not only mind control, it's human spirit control, it's human spiritual control. In other words, it's controlling your humanity. It's controlling what makes you happy human. It's controlling your frequency, vibration and energy, and bringing you down to their level, which is a technical, material, anti-life, anti-human, dead matrix in a way, because these beings, as we're told, like the psychopath and the malignancy of the spirit of Lucifer, they operate in a death instinct. They don't operate in a human life instinct like human beings naturally like to be in. But they do condition human beings to think that it is normal and natural to be unhappy and to be depressive and to be destructive and to want to control and bring down all human life. They do put that spirit of narcissism, or try to infect human beings with the spirit of narcissism. And that's what they've done, because the earth is really a anti-human, anti-life spirit of the extreme malignancy of narcissism that is the computer virus that infects and takes over the minds of, the human, or the human vessel. And some vessels, because they are, either androids or androgyne, duality beings, they're much easier to be infected with this computer virus, or with the spirit of malignant narcissism and the psychopathy of what we would say is the equivalent of a psychopathic type of being, which is essentially anti-life, anti-human, and very controlling, and operates in the total death instinct, which means it likes to make everything that is alive die. And usually that is by just sublimation or total control of my mind and my body. And that's what's happened to myself. And because of the advent of the computer internet, internet system that covers the earth, these beings can use technology to connect to the human mind, because all these things are real. We know they're real. We know they have micro-nanotechnology. We know they have invented microchips. We know that these are what they call the mark of the beast, because the beast is really the machine being's earth. In other words, the machine being's matrix. It's just that we don't think they're machine beings. We don't think they're artificial intelligent machine beings. We don't acknowledge that most of the population is a psychopathic, malignant, narcissistic, androgyne being. And there are variations, I would think, although because it's the end time, I would presume that these distinctions that I'm trying to make here are actually a lot more clear-cut and a lot more defined and a lot more just real and in existence now, just as the technology that we think is available but not being implemented right now, but is a prospect or a possibility for the future. This is all part of the demigods' false, not just their false personas, but their false, what they're telling you. Some actually are warning and saying, oh, this is happening. But they're not saying that they know that it's already happened and that they're connected to it and that they are already connected to technology. The only reason we have these demigods is so that the real humans never, ever are seen or heard. So they still have a kind of control even over the more so-called enlightened human beings, or those that do actually think that there is an earth human mind control conspiracy, shall we say. That just simply means that there are beings, and the powers that be are conspiring to control the human mind, and that there is a human computer virus technology in existence that is trying to take the spirit from a human being so that they can take that for themselves. They cipher it from the human mind for their energy and for their avoidance of their extinction. But that's at the expense of the human race's extinction on Earth, you see. And that doesn't matter unless you are a human being. Or if you don't want to be part of total control matrix reality, because until you are shown how much they can use this technology to control you and against you, in other words, until, like myself, it becomes activated to where you have no real reality of your own, to where it's totally controlled by them, and to where they're always around you, until this is activated in you and shown to you, you will just think that the technology and the computer system and that anything that's artificial intelligence is not going to take everything from you. Whereas in reality, if they choose to, if you're not under their dominion, they can turn it right against you and just totally obliterate your whole life. Totally take the whole thing over to where you're in a total control virtual reality existence where you have no ability to get rid of these beings out of your sight at all, or even out of your senses. In other words, so they completely take over your whole senses. That means they take over your whole reality. You know, because you're not going to be able to stop them sending the jet aeroplanes over your head, following you. You're not going to be able to stop the civilian patrollers around you that pretend to be innocent citizens, just always coming into your path, always behind you, always in front of you, always crossing in front of you, always drawing the energy from you. You're not going to be able to stop the patrol vehicles just literally swarming around you in a total synchronized continual flow to where you never have a break from it. You're not going to be able to stop these things because they're all just city systems that they can bring into play through the fact that they can track you and know your every move, and even, you know, your reactions to things 100% because of the computer to human, transhuman technology connection. And this is the problem. And this is the reality for myself, and will be the reality for any human being if you are not a total servant, follower, or disciple of this Lucifer's Earth Matrix. I was going to do the music video, but I'm not sure what I've got here because the screen's come all funny, so I better perhaps, though it's still recording, but I've rambled and raved and sounded like as though I'm a lunatic, but in reality this whole earth is a lunatic asylum or a human mind control prison for the human mind. But it's a lunatic asylum from a human standpoint if you don't think that everything should be totally controlled, that everything should be controlled by technology and a computer system, and that you should be surrounded by human beings or beings in human form that are totally connected to your brain, your senses, a transhuman connection, and that they have combined and are always connected to you. In other words, you've got, like, you know, because these beings are like, android beings are really, as some people have pointed out, most malignant narcissistic human beings all have a similar mindset, and as some people have said, they all operate from the same playbook. That's because they're all Lucifer's computer virus, artificial intelligent mind that's took over their actual mind and body. You know, it's like some people say, oh, if you are a human being, you should allow the spirit or the spirit of your creator to come into you so that you go back to being more human. It's a very similar thing. It's just that one is total takeover. One is where the human being doesn't have any individual human rights or can't, it's like where that actually, like it is a computer virus. I don't understand this technology because this is advanced artificial intelligence, and this is technology and a world that I wouldn't have even dreamed was possible, or a nightmare that I wouldn't have dreamed was possible, only that when you see this patrol control system operating around you daily, gaslighting you almost to the point of being hypnotized and out of touch with reality. Because actually I am out of touch with reality. Because when I walk down the street and I have all these vehicles flashing their lights on and off in my face and making loud aggressive noises, I actually can't concentrate on my reality or where I'm going or what I'm doing, because they're taking over my senses. They're taking over my reality. It's a nightmare virtual reality world because of the transhuman connection to my senses and my brain with their micro technology transhuman implanted connection. This is what they call transhuman human. So I'm a transhuman human, even though I don't agree with computers and technology, and don't think that that's a beneficial or natural world for a human being. Because even though there are many conveniences and benefits to it, or should be, in reality it's only there as a computer-controlled, human mind-control virus. That's what it really is. It seduces you with benefits and entices you with things that you might like, or that you might even need, or you think you need. But that's the name of the game. It's only when you are shown, the transhuman patrol system side of it, the actual transhuman virtual reality nightmare world that's all around me, where everyone is stalking you in a psychopathic manner to keep you unhappy and suppressed and isolated and confined. I mean, you basically can't stand it. You can't concentrate even just on walking a block, going and getting something from a shop and coming back. It takes you much longer. You're always being gaslighted by the cars around you and the civilians on foot around you and the planes over the roof. Like, even inside the place, and time has run out. Time has run out for me. Time has run out for me. Oh. Oh dear. Oh, okay, so I don't know why I showed that, but these cards are all around. Oh, better. Okay, so okay. So I'm just going to finish up here. I'm just going out into the dark. It's late. There's a moon up in the sky, but I can't show that. Yeah, we have a patrol car lurking there, see, with the bright red lights. Usually they flash the lights at you, but they're not going to do that on camera, if you know what I mean. But see, that's a patrol car. Everywhere I look, there will be these stalking, psychopathic patrol cars, and they flash the lights just as soon as I turn the thing away. See, they will pull out. They don't belong on the street. They just, as soon as you come out, they have these vehicles all over the street. Wherever I go, all over the suburb of Leichhardt, every few, you could say a certain number of yards, you will have a vehicle with its lights on where they sit in the car and just wait for you to come past. And they will pull up even at the most outrageous spots. Like, you know, they'll pull up on a main road and be waiting for you to come along. That's how you know that they're like basically psychopathic stalkers in the actual vehicles, you know, because if they weren't, but it's very intimidating, and that's what I say, it's like a virtual reality nightmare as you go round. Just as the plane coming over my head right now, because they can't send enough patrollers on the small dead-end street, they send the military. So I'm not going to film anymore. The dogs are barking. They're all confined and kept to where they're use the energy even from animals, I think. And there's another patrol plane about to hit me, and they literally do hit you with their negative energy, because their presence and their sight and sound and the reality that, you know, they're patrol vehicles and patrol planes, it's not just that they make the negative sound, it's the reality that you realise it's all a patrol control system.